Good evening, friends. Yesterday was quite a day, wasn't it? My God, we are being treated this year. Season 2 of The Wheel of Time, we were left a little bit high and dry with the promo. They gave us lots of clips. We didn't get necessarily the interaction from the cast and the crew because of the strikes. So this year, they're making up for it. They've gone all out. What we got yesterday was the cold open for the entire series. The cold open for episode 1 of season 3, The Fabled Shredding of Tar Valon, part 1. And this is what was shown at the event in Brazil last year, and this, along with the rest, I assume, of the first episode, are what those lucky Wheel of Time fans currently congregating in London are going to see tomorrow. So obviously we threw the clip up as soon as we could yesterday and didn't really have a chance to follow it up. That is today's job. So after I roll these credits, I am going to watch this along with you just the once and just point out again the bits that I really liked, because there were some just stunning. There were some very cheesy bits, but I love the proper hard fantasy, and grand fantasy requires cheese, so that's fine. But it was magnificent. It took the idea of the Black Aja breaking out of Tar Valon in secret and made it a very public and very violent affair, and it is the best scene so far of the whole series. So yeah, let's hit those credits, those titles, and then let's take a look at this together, and can't wait to watch it again. I'll see you in a minute. Okay, here we go. Right, so I've got it set. It's all ready to go. I'm going to just hit pause and talk and then play and hit pause. And we're just going to break it down in theoretically one take. But if I get distracted, who knows how long we're going to be here. So, yeah, let's go. Thank you very much. The immediate thing that gets me about this, I've mentioned how good the city looks already, but how good the sound is here. It's a whole new sort of minor key tonally, like tale of sadness to come. Is brilliant. Everything's raining, it's dark. Moiraine looks worried.
It's time, Mother.
This is big and it's serious, and they're letting us know straight away. It's a great piece of work with the music. It really is fantastic.
Today isn't about her.
This answers this, by the way. It's not the Age of Legends at all. This is very much Tar Valon, which makes sense with the Arjas. But yeah, so it's good to see a new part of the tower. And again with the music, tension.
She's called you to the floor.
I have a few matters I'd like to raise before the hall myself.
No doubt you would, Leandrin.
We stand with you, sister, no matter the charges.
Again,
Where are we going? And why?
Always plan for the
everyone's
worst,
up to something.
That way all of your surprises will be pleasant ones.
Everyone's waiting for the hall.
What if the others are working with Leandrin? Let us stand with you.
They're smart boys, listen to them. Also foolish, because if they were, your chances are next to zero. So, this is an excellent opportunity just to talk about the costuming again, which has been magnificent, but especially for this scene here. We know Leandrin to be Black Aja, we know she's given herself to the Shadow, and that outfit tells us that she is flaunting that right now. Red and black outfits slashed with more red. It's absolutely spot on. Okay, here we go.
There's a plan for the rats.
Yes, she does.
We are ready, Ivana.
All these knowing looks. Everyone looking around. That
Mother has
clean
sitting sealed to the
thing.
hall. Enter the Red Aja.
Every sitter has the right to speak in the hall.
Only 11 sitters are required by tradition. Leandra and Sadai will speak for the Reds today, but you will not hear her.
This is Leanne's finest hour, by the way, so far. The Brown's already seated, ready to take notes.
Attend you all. She comes. The Watcher of the Seals. The Flame of Tarvalon. The Amelin Seat.
They've been left outside. Music again, though. Lauren Balfour's absolutely nailed this music.
Because you wish to silence me. It's no secret. I've never courted your favor. And frankly, I'm glad of it. Knowing what I now do about you.
This bit.
I accuse you, Mother, of breaking Tower custom and law.
This bit is essential. This isn't going to save Leandrin, but this is, spoilers for the rest of the series, this is going to damn the Amulan seat. This is going to damn Siwan. Just because of what she says now.
Then continue, daughter, and I will answer.
There's a mistake. Several
And I, Sadai,
mistakes.
cannot lie.
Although she's using this to her own advantage here.
Mother called 13 sisters to Kyrian for some unknown purpose. In the chaos that followed, as the city burned, it became clear that Mother had met Moraine Sadai, whom she banished from the tower.
There's nothing wrong with that. Not in the tower.
Who could channel
This, on the other hand.
Al Thor, who proclaimed himself Dragon Reborn in Falm. Mother met him. The man this tower is duty-bound to cage and control.
Outrage in the hall.
Mother
Outrage.
willingly let him escape.
But here, this is what will damn her. This reply.
If you had proof that these accusations were true, then the Hall would have no choice but to restrict my authority, decree a penance, or even depose me.
Elida. Yeah, this situation is well played by Swan, but it is not going to help her later because people will get proof. The tower loves the gossip. This accusation has been made, and when it all calms down, all of this, I say, blows over, when they start sweeping the fact that it happened under the rug and pretending like nothing is wrong, tower politics are going to kick back in, and this will damn her. She will be done because of these words and because of what Leandrin has said, and a lot of other things as well, but this is a really good starting point for that conspiracy.
But I know what most women in this hall do not. That you, Leandrin Garale, can break the 3 oaths. You have
No
sworn
proof offered here, by the
yourself
way.
to the shadow. You are a dark friend.
But this is madness. You see what she will do to silence me. You have no proof.
Nah, but then...
The hall calls Nynaeve Elmira to the floor.
Even now,
Leandrin
even
kidnapped
with
and sold
Nynaeve,
to the Shan Chan.
you'd think you could make a defense against a novice for a short while. This is it. Now the looks of all these people who've given her a look earlier, and you're like, oh. What you don't expect is what's coming. Maybe not quite as many.
I tried.
But Alana was so ready.
Against your sisters in this hall.
And now we get this. This is beautiful because this is reminiscent of what she did to Logain. Lifted up. Exactly the same. Sisters with her, not linked because she's already shielded. But this moment here where I don't doubt that if it wasn't interrupted, she'd have moved to still her. You put Loghain's scene right against that. It's very similar.
And now you will be tried still and give up everything
She's straight with the torture.
before you die.
She knows she's a dark friend, therefore the oaths do not prohibit her from hurting her.
I will. Join me.
This bit, by the way, cheese. That's the cheese I'm talking about right there. Not this, because this was awesome, and we'll just go back a minute, actually. This whole, join me now, which just seemed... Have a better signal for your evil sisters to come to your aid, please. Anyway, small complaint. Let's move on. Immediately, straight away, and again, Leanne having the time of her life here. Absolutely ready for this fight. But that's 4 sitters of the hall who are Black Aja, which is insane. That's 4 sitters of the hall that have revealed themselves to a Black Aja. There may be more. They've raised themselves up to the most powerful positions Aes Sedai can reach, short of being the head of the Raja or the Amyrlin seat. And God knows what they've done with that power. God knows what they've used it for. We probably will never see. But this is a hell of a moment to declare yourself. Okay, so before we move on then, I just want to talk about how well the VFX team have done with channeling version 3 this season so far. Just from the trailer and from this look, they've really stepped it up. Obviously series 1 had very basic white weaves, it all looked like spirit, but that was our viewers' lack of knowledge. Now, as we got to series 2 and that developed, and they developed their art in terms of showing us things on screen, and we learned more about channeling, we got different colours of weaves. And now that we are old hands and they've really refined things, just look at it, look at how beautiful it is. We've got air and fire being channeled there at least, and there are weaves forming in the air. They are quick, they've got elements of the element that they represent actually as part of, like sparks with fire, or gusts weaving in and out of weaves of air, and it is beautiful. I mean, we'll see a lot more, and I'll stop for some really good points, but there's just some absolutely glorious work here, and I think they should absolutely be celebrated. Anyway, moving on. I mean, look, oh, blood splatter on the white. That's one. Hang on a minute. That's Varian's half sister. I've seen that joke all over the place, and this is why. There's another cheesy bit, by the way. Having just commented the VFX, it was very strange to see the way that fell, but I'm not complaining because it is still gorgeous. Now let's just pop back a touch. Is that it? Right, let me just have a look. There, that. Now, I don't know how well we see it from here, but firstly, the shield that is currently up, the shield that is protecting the Amyrlin is beautiful. But this, look at that. This disc of air, and we'll see it again in a second, that cuts the brown sister in half. Just... oh, it echoes back to what Liandrin said to Nynaeve in the previous series about what you can do with air, how you can shape it, how you can make it hard. Well, that is a genius use of air, and I love it. And this, poor Nynaeve, speaking of, this is another one of those moments in the early story where her block gets in the way of her helping out or influencing or just shutting down some big event with her power, and there's nothing she can do. It's just a real shame for her. She tries so hard, and then Black Sister realizes the power and just causes all of the trouble, and we don't see her again after this. I'm fairly certain we don't see what happens to Nynaeve. Now obviously she's kind of integral to the plot, but we don't see them heal her right now. Now imagine, as well as warders, being warders out here and feeling your sister die in there and being unable to enter because you're going into warder rage at this point.
Get away from the door. You will
And these Reds at this point,
I said I killed, you fool. Move!
these Reds could have made the battle even more different. Look at this. Look. Another disc of air. Let's just... I said this in the trailer. It's like a scene out of a game or an anime at this point. It is insanely detailed. There's weaves going off in all directions. There are discs of chopping saw blade air. There's sister fighting and eviscerating sister, and then amidst all of it, in this ball of fire in the air, is Leandrin burning. Okay, another disc of air. Oh, it's just... Look at it. It's horrendous. It's like Frisbee, but deadly one-power Frisbee. And the absolute joy on their faces that they finally get to do this. The chaos it's causing. I'm not quite sure what she's trying here, because she's still shielded, but she's making a pointy point. And Swan's having none of it. See, look at it. I mean, squeezing their very guts out, I'm sure. Oh, Joya. Oh. And this moment of pure horror for the rest of the sisters, seeing the Amelin get cut down by a chunk of masonry, and it's like a moment, a pause, a chance for everyone to regroup. And with Leandrin free, and now no longer shielded. The absolute look of horror on Alana's face. And the absolute speed with which all of a sudden she's running to her. She's still got a weaver around her, and she knows she's going to need healing quickly because they need her back in the fight. And this is another thing about Aes Sedai fighting Aes Sedai, is the fact that people who have been grievously wounded aren't necessarily out of it, because healing is quick, it is brutal, and it is efficient. Lyanna as well, screaming mother. She's got broken ribs. Varen.
What's happening in the hall? That we should help the Amelin. We are. On the other side of this wall is the 13th depository. I thought it didn't exist. Inside are our strongest Angreal and Terangreal.
And not only that, although it is a Terangreal.
Can't protect these alone. There are few we can trust here.
Out of our way. Move!
Oh.
Thank the light. Jane.
Oh no.
Chesmo, help us get inside.
Chesmo fucking Emery. Oh. I'm not sure what happens to this. I'm pausing it because these two guys get killed so easily. And just like that, I feel it is just... splashes of red from their head, so whatever it is, kills them by popping their brains.
I've killed you, Mortis. I'll kill you too.
But this psychotic moment...
Yes, I can feel it. I can feel them dying. It's so good.
All of a sudden, everyone realises how bad they're in it.
Mother has asked us to protect these objects. Whatever the cost, no matter who.
What does that look like to everybody? I don't know if we can see it there at the back, and I'll try and get a picture later. Giant twisted frame that could be, I don't know, a doorway with snakes at the top, foxes at the top, and as I say, just sat there in the White Tower's most secret archive does appear to be a portal to different worlds where the snakes and the foxes live. Now, we know Matt is in the tower in this series. We know he watches the two princelings have their duel, and we hope to God that he puts them in their place with the quarterstaff. But we've been wondering how on earth Matt was going to get his destiny, because in the glass columns picture that they released of the whole cast in the widescreen version, right there is Matt with a fox head medallion. But it would be pretty crap if he just picked it up off the Tanchico archive. However, now we know he's in the tower. Now we know there's a very real chance that he's going to get healed of the dagger properly, and he's going to have his famed quarterstaff battle with the Princes of Andor. I think we're going to see him step through the doorway here, because we're not going to Tyr. Tyr is barely going to be in these at all as things stand, but if the doorway is already here, then there could be one here, and there could be one in Tanchico in the archive there, and he can have both his passes through if need be, but even just one in here would be good. I'm not quite sure how he'd get in there, we'll have to see, but that's a redstone fucking doorway. Those are snakes, those are foxes. Finally! Cannot wait to see what happens with that.
What comes for them?
Little dice, Terangriel. The rod for balefire back there, I think.
Finally, I don't have to listen to your
another black
anymore.
So, Adalis gets hit. Verin manages a very quick channel, but gets hit by the same weave that looks to erase memory here. But I don't know whether she was warded or whether her quick channeling protected her, because she isn't affected the same way. Now, we know Verin's always one step ahead of most things, but she did not necessarily look like she expected her sister to be Black Azure. But whereas they both drop, with Adalis it does not take long. It takes quite a while to go and does its thing. With Verin, it's gone quite quickly, and she's bleeding from the nose straight away in the same way, but she's not lost her sensibilities. And she has the lot. All of the things, all of the very important things. See, again, Liandrin, baked, but healing back in. Sister's trying to get it together, but if you're willing to just rip things apart... Oh, I forgot about that. Well done, Alana. Don't mess with Alana. See, again, healing for the Amarylline, straight away. Air and spiriting, and this is the glorious moment. Leanne is having none of her face. Absolutely turned it into paste. But we'll come back to channeling now. Looking for all the world like a twisted Joker wannabe. Look at the link. It's quick. It's incredible. It's got them all in the middle. And it's giving all that power to one. And it's supposed to blow the bloody doors off. Now, we looked at this on the Dusty Wheel, and it's nice to see the rest of that scene. And God knows what Moiraine is thinking now, but she cannot physically go to that tower.
Quick, get to the docks.
Absolute state of the warders out there. So many dead warders, so many dead Aes Sedai. But not all of them. Some more in half there. Another one in half. The state of the throne room. The whole of the tower is absolutely shattered. So they must have done this to the set. Now, I wonder whether they need to film anything in it beforehand, before they did this, or whether they just rebuilt it. Made a set just for the destruction. She's lost herself.
You got it?
They're screaming everywhere, so what have they been doing? You don't see the Amarylline Seat just marching through the streets of Tar Valon very often. Oh, and this is part 2, and we don't get part 2. And that note, that guitar note, again, the music in just these 11 minutes so far has been truly exceptional. So just before that, we had this intense chase, sort of panic driven music, and it's the nature of a good composer, obviously, but what we get here is all of a sudden, as they're making their escape, it becomes a standoff as Alana has walked out into the street and you've got the Black Azure fleeing. All of a sudden, that single guitar note makes this a western. Just like that. Listen to it. Just listen to the change. It's great.
You got it?
So you've still got the drums.
Else I can carry.
It's all in the background, keeping things moving. Panicked movement. But listen now. Walking up the street.
You will not leave the city alive.
Statement. More guitar, and we're in a western standoff. Things start creaking. They walk out. Who's going to draw first? Tumbleweed. And it's done. Oh, that last bit gives me absolute chills, and it is masterful. Lorne Balfe, you absolute hero here. As much as all of the VFX is great, the acting is great, the sheer bloody-minded violence of it all is great. The music throughout this go through about 8 different movements, and it is truly exceptional, truly brilliant, and I bloody love it. I'm so impressed with it. So, where does that leave us for this then, hey? Where does that put us at this point in time? What can we infer from what has happened and where we are and what we expect to happen to sort of work out what's going to happen now? Because there are too many of them for Alanna to fight on her own, even with 2 warders. There are too many of them. Far too many. I'm trying to think exactly how many there are, but it is 5 or 6. And there's no way. She's got no chance. Now, out roaming the street is Leanne. Out roaming the street is the yellow sister you would imagine who helped heal the Amyrlin. Out is Swan Sanche herself, and somewhere in the street is Moiraine and Lan, who are unable to come into the tower, but are now in play on the board because they can go around the streets of Tar Valon just like anyone else, and she's seen that explosion just like everyone else. So what happens now? How does this go down? I think we have seen Liandrin and Alanna go absolutely hammer and tongs in the teaser trailer. So great. But what happens to everyone else? There are a lot of people there who are absolutely going to influence a one-on-one fight. So yeah, I truly can't wait to see this. To those of you who get to see this in London tomorrow, I hate you all. Not really, but just a little bit right now. But a couple of weeks and I'll know exactly what's going on. But just wow. All right, wow, we're so lucky. We got a number of good clips last year. We got the Dark Friend Social, and I was part of the people who pointed out that all the different seals corresponded to different Forsaken, and that was fun. This is a bit different. This isn't a mystery. This is just gratuitous, and it was really nice. And if this is the first 12 minutes of the series, then what on earth is the rest of the series going to be like? Either they've blown the budget, they've shown us the best thing, and the rest of it is going to be a Shakespearean tragedy with 3 people on stage, or things can only get more incredible than this, and I can't wait to find out. So yeah, what do you think? Come on. Hundreds of you have posted on the clip that I put up. Let's have your theories on this. What have I got right? What have I missed? What have I got horribly wrong? What do you think is going to happen? Share it with me, let me know, and please do leave a like, do subscribe to the video, because I mean, if this is how good this gets, just imagine how good the rest of the series is. Don't you want to be there with me when we find out how good it is together? Hey, anyway, listen, you guys take care, we'll see you soon.